Hello and welcome to Against All Odds, a program that is dedicated at making sure that we showcase survivor stories, people who've come through from misfortunes or who have faced trauma in their lives. Maybe have gone through an accident. You might be feeling like, I'm alone in this, but these stories that we share with you right here on Against All Odds are dedicated at encouraging you and letting you know that you are not alone in certain situations. And today, joining me, a survivor herself through her talent, is Mitchel. But I'm not here to tell a story. She is. Help me welcome Mitchel to the program right here on Against All Odds. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
You look
Thank
lovely.
you so much. Thank you.
By the way, you look very lovely.
Thank you so much. You
Great.
too.
Thanks. So let's start off with talking a little bit about yourself and your upbringing. You know, say, was your upbringing okay? Was it great? Or there are certain things that, you know, you wish were different when you were growing up?
I think there's certain things definitely that I wish were different. For me, I grew up without my mom passed when I was very young. So I grew up without mother's love. So of course, there are some things that were different from other kids besides rejection and you know, our mothers play a very big role. I've realized, even now I have a son, so what I would want is if anyone touches my son, no, please don't do that. But when I was growing up, it wasn't like that for me. Even if when I would have not done something, no one would fight for me. They're going to say, I can't. Those are, you know, those. I received a lot of case names and negative words from a lot of people. Yeah, so it was very traumatic for me, my upbringing.
All right. In your upbringing, your siblings, how many children are you in your family?
We are 3. I've got my brother, Teachkes, and who's now married, by the way. And then I've got my young sister, Ashley Chibonda. He's the last born from my mom. Of course, I have other siblings from my other mom that Leanda and Siabonga. So, but now from my mom, we're just 3. My young sister, we're just 2 years difference with my young sister.
I'm so sorry about your mother.
It's okay. It's okay.
She did pass away when you were still a young age. You know, of course, as someone who's growing up, you'd want your mom to be there.
Yes, of course, definitely.
Was your father present as you were growing up?
Yes, my father is there. He is there. He's alive. But mostly in my life, he wasn't present. He never showed up that much. I had time with him. It was very little, because he moved to South Africa. So it was like I'm now really orphan because no one was there for us. And sometimes we feel like he's rejected because he wasn't really much. Even calling, checking up, he wasn't active. Yeah, you know, what I can say, he wasn't that active in. Yeah. All
right. Who were you staying with when you were growing up?
Okay, when I growing up, honestly speaking, I stayed at a lot of places. I stayed at a lot of places. Chimboya kunoko, ngamboya kunoko mishi. Especially until we were 3, my brother was staying in Gokwe, my young sister was staying with. We never even stayed together as siblings. So we're separate. As for me personally, I was staying different places. When my aunt was alive, she was so nice. And then I came, and then I started staying with my mama Ropa. Yeah, so it was like that was the type of life that I was living then. And then I still remember there's a moment when my dad said, I'm going to South Africa. I'm actually saying to go town. And then it's just okay. So I were the maid. And then my dad decided he never come back. I think that's when he went to South Africa. He never came back. That day we remained with my young sister. Even the food, that's when relatives, you know, there's actually a burden to people. Relatives started coming, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
I understand you also grew up in an orphanage?
Yes.
When you went to the orphanage, was this a case because you were moving from one place to another until social welfare came through and they decided to move you into an orphanage?
Yes, it was a case of which I didn't have a Zimbabwe good. Even when I was at school, I growing up, teachers would see that in me. A lot of teachers, when I growing up, teachers loved me. I don't want to lie. They could see this kid. I was always traumatized. And then go receive as well. You know, I still remember the words that people would call me, Vengoti Kamchembere. You know, people would, I was like a useless person. Sometimes, even though sometimes you feel like the needs are how, you know. I feel like even if kanamwana needs sometimes, you know, especially there's a way they take us and you try, but for me it was different. It was just rejection, like no one was there to stand for me. So it was...
you know, moving into the orphanage, I'm sure it felt like you had family there.
Yes, it was so nice. It was so nice. Being at the orphanage, it was one of the most nice things in my life. You know, it was a nice experience. We enjoyed the kids with other kids, and we were getting visitors who would come and see us and play with us, buy us shoes. You know, it was good. It was good. I preferred orphanage than...
how did you ever leave the orphanage? How did you come from, you know, the orphanage back into normal society, or what we call family, within another family? How did that happen?
Okay, what happened when I came out of, it's actually interesting. My dad came at school, and then he was like, aren't you love my drama jurists? I've bought you, he had a big bag, so it looked like my ministry. So I bought you my boots. I can still do drama jurists because it was the sport that I loved only. Drama jurists and choir. Yeah. It was like, I have boots for you, what? And then my dad said a lot of things that he had for me. So when I went back to the orphanage, I cried. I was like, I want to go back to my dad. I was young. I was young. So I was carried away by those
aspects,
by the immature things, and then I cried. I went back to my dad. They actually were asking me.
I'm just going to put a pause on that. We're just going to take a short break, and then when we come back, Mitchel actually gets to talk more about how she left the orphanage, going back to her family with her father. Welcome back to Against All Odds. Now, just before the break, Mitchel was narrating how she actually found herself, you know, coming from the orphanage and wanting to go stay with her dad who came through. You know, I want you to come stay with me. Now, your dad came, he's like, listen, Mishi, ndakutengera mabutse drama jiri, ndakutengera zvakawanda dzoka kumba yosogara kumba kwedu. What did you do? First inkling was it, I want to go back to my parents. Was that it?
Yes, I wanted to go back to my dad because, you know, seeing your parents coming back, looking for you, it's so affection. You know, no one, yeah. It was, for me, it was very, very, I really appreciated that. Of course, I know my dad, he has a soft spot. Anyways, he does have it. So I cried, and then I went back to I went back home. I started staying, but things were not okay. Things didn't turn out the way I thought were going to be. I was staying with my dad, and actually my dad left to SA, and then I remained Sarana Mama, who's my mom, the woman my dad married. Things were a bit not okay. It was not really okay. And then when mom left, say I was ndakabanda kumba kwa mama my current mom in Woodville. Things were not okay. Things were not okay. still remember ndaicheka uswa kuti so that I get money ndaidzidza kumuzilikazi hai. So it was far, very far. If you know Blawayo, Woodville and Mzilikazi is very far, needed transport. So there are times my granny would be like, no, Mariachi, you couldn't end school. So I would like check out uswa and neku clean up my yard devan, clean up my yards to tomboita my piece job so that I get the money. Yeah, and then maricho, yeah. So it wasn't easy, and there was work on which I'm not like people are bad, but when we are staying together, everyone is a weakness. Of course, people want run here and there, but it was really not an environment that I can say it was interesting. Yeah.
All right. Then staying with Gogo at the time, did you stay until where you are now, or something? Any other changes that happened in between?
Yes, changes happened. I sing, so I went and I stayed Gogo, the church that we were going at Gogo. I started going to stay in a past, the men of God. Started staying there, and nothing much happened there. It was church and singing. Yeah, it was church and singing. It was interesting for me because that's what I loved. Yeah. It was a little bit better. I can say it was okay, 100%, because it was just different people from different backgrounds. So of course, problems, but I can't say it was a bad environment.
So it was a mission house. That's what it was.
Yes, it was nice.
At the mission house, I earlier on when we started the program, you talked about being a mother.
Yes.
I'm sure you've got a child now.
Yes, I
right. So at the point where you started staying at the mission house, to the point that you actually became a mother, right? Did you become a mother whilst you were at the mission house? The papa
okay.
When you became pregnant.
All right. I became pregnant when I O level. From the mission house, my dad came back. And then we went and we started staying with my dad Kumba. So when we were staying in Kumba, that's when a lot of things happened. I still remember that's when Tanga Yangu life. What happened is they used to do business, like Tengisa and Zungu. So in Blawayo they call it Zamba Nindlu, that's what I used to do. Ndifamba chiedzera ndotengesa ndodzoka kumba wondipimira makaps inzungu bucket ndofamba chitengesa nenyemba nemnyevi. So that's what was it. So ndaiti ndakatengesa most of the times kana ndakurumidza pedza ndaibva ndaenda to a Pentecostal church because umbakodi kwaipinda apostle. So I didn't want them to know. Yeah, okay. I didn't want. So ndaiti ndakangotengesa ndakapedza ndobva ndaenda. It's either there was this church in Christ life ndaende koko ndinogara mumashure nenzungu dzangu nemasagangu ndoterera ndopinda muchechi ndobuda. And then I still remember ndakamboenda is it AFM? Yeah, AFM pane AFM but to Zimbabwe. But then there's this day that I went to this church. Yeah, kupesera kunketa.
It was a bit further.
It was a bit further. It was quite cool. Kunketa. The church was intrigued. It made yakanakidza. It's Hatfield or what? I think that's the church. And then I went there, and then I still remember my items. And I was like, hey, let me go and sing. And then I went there and I sang. And then wow, it was my first time singing on a microphone, by the way, singing Pentecost church. And then imagine church band interest and of course that was my fault. My fault. It wasn't my parent. I shouldn't have done that. And then they were like, then I think is so and then my mom was like, so when I was 5, so I got upstairs wardrobe white, so I got a patron and did. And then go over and then and then he started beating me. And then he beat me. I just became honest. And then I changed it. I went to a Pentecostal church. That's what I love. Because it was passion from inside. I would write songs. I would write songs. I loved music. So, yeah. So, and then when he beat me, the words that he said to me is that he said, you know what, you're a mistake. Yeah, you're a mistake. We had only planned teachers in Ashley, you're a mistake. When he said that to me, that was so, to me, and then I started realizing with my dad growing up, me personally, besides my siblings, personally myself, he always used to just sideline me most of the times, and he just had only bad words to say to me. So I was like, it's okay. I still remember I'm going to my room, and then I started packing my things. Yeah, I packed my clothes, and I was like, I'm going. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going.
You left the house?
I left. That's the honest truth.
Did you know where you were going?
No, I didn't know.
Where did you stay when you left?
I just started walking with my paper bag, bag, yeah. Started walking, and then Famba. So I was looking for this. There was this lady who I think is she knew a little bit. Actually, I think she realized that I was a little bit and I was a little bit depressed, who's not staying. So she used to just like me, and we would talk, not even about Nzekumba actually, just talk general, even church things, and she loved my voice. So I started looking for her. So I was guessing. We looked for the house, we failed to get the house. So until this guy was like, the guy, he took me in. I will be honest, that guy just took me in. He never did anything to me.
He just wanted to just make sure you had somewhere to sleep.
I told him the truth. I can't go back home, I don't want. Then I started staying with that guy, because he was the landlord. The parents weren't there, but he was staying with the cousins, I think. Yeah.
All right. So you've moved in with this guy. He's taking care of you. I understand that there was a time that you actually also stayed in the streets, right? How long were you in the streets for?
In the streets, I went when I was pregnant. When I was pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was pregnant. Actually, what happened is after I stayed with this guy, there's this church that saw me, and then they were like, because the guy was not interested in me.
Oh, he was not interested.
So there was this man. Yeah, there was this man. There was this man who said, this kid is so young.
Let me stay with him.
We have a place. So I went there. Now I was like a maid. All
right. I'm going to stop you there. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to see how she managed to use her talent of music to survive her story. This is Against All Odds. Welcome back to Against All Odds. Now, Michelle, you were saying that you were at this church, right? That took you in because the guy that you were staying was starting to show interest in you, and they're like, you were still too young. The church took you in, right? What then happened when the church took you in?
And then I met the father of my kid. That's why I met him. And then I got pregnant.
All right.
Yes, when I got pregnant, they couldn't take me in.
All right.
Yeah, they couldn't take me in. The family said they didn't even accept that at all because all
right.
But he was supposed to go to university.
Oh, you were both young.
Yeah, we were both young, exactly. So I feel like they felt like, so they couldn't take me in. I still remember the moment I stayed by streets, I was now staying by Chicken Inn. That I had my paper bags. Like no one, I don't want to lie, no one takes. If you are pregnant, I've experienced that. I understand they won't take you in when you're pregnant. So I don't go to meet so what people, that's what people were saying. So I couldn't go anywhere. So I went in the streets.
Okay.
Yes, I was in the street with my bag. My brother wasn't in Bulawayo, he was in Harare by then. If he was there, I don't want to lie, he would have taken me in. So I started staying in the street, but Chicken Inn, paper. I still remember God, paper, we don't take care of my street kids, but my sofa, that's where I was staying. And my clothes, I have paper bag, white, okay. And so just go to doctor. And then it just over pure. So my clothes were staying there, and I was staying in the streets, surviving. I still remember when I Chicken Inn, I was pregnant, and then I ended up at this bank.
And you're staying there.
Yeah.
But how did you leave the streets? After how long did you leave the streets?
The street I left them. There's this friend of mine, Mitchel. Actually, he saw my status that day. I noticed it. I was in pain. I used to cry every day, you know, because it was a mistake that I've made, and considering how I grew up, and then now I'm now pregnant.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I thought like, I think my life now, it's now over. I cannot survive. Like, this is my life is so. That's what happened. My friend saw me, and then he asked me he wanted to hear what's going on. I told him the truth. And then his mother called me. She cancelled me. She was a nurse. She said I went through the same when I got pregnant. I got pregnant in the right way. So she took me in. She started staying with me. She was so nice. Unfortunately, she passed on last year. And it's so painful. Yeah. She was nice.
But look at you, your journey, if you really look at it, it's got so many, more downs than ups if you really look at it.
Yes.
But you managed to use your talent, which is your voice, because you've got a talent to sing. And God looked at you and said, you've got a talent, Monango, and I'm going to bring you out of all these situations that you've been. You're now a singer?
Yeah, yes, I have been a singer ever since when I was growing up.
But now it's a talent that you use to also survive,
yes,
right?
Now I used it. Like, now I have a son, right? I have a child. So when I got pregnant, I started thinking, what can I do? What can I do? But I started just singing, not for money. For me, singing is something that heals me. Even whatever that I was going through, I would cry. When I cry, I sing, and then I will be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Since music is the one thing that actually uplifted her, for her to be where she is, imagine from staying in the streets, you know, from moving from one home to another, it hasn't been an easy life for Mitchel. And we want to show you how music has actually uplifted her. Like she said, even when she wants to cry and she sings, she actually feels better. So what we're going to do as a closing remark from Against All Odds, and saying thank you to Mitchel for coming through and sharing her story with us on the program Against All Odds.
Thank you for having me.
And so that you see how music has changed her life, we're going to let her do a little something for us as we go. Until next time, this is Against All Odds. My name is Rachel Munyeheli.
You knew me in my mother's womb, oh God. You knew me and wrote down my destiny. I know you know everything about me. It's gonna be my testimony. Everything I'm doing, God is behind it all. This life I'm living, it's gonna be my testimony. Everything I'm doing, and God is behind it all. Woo! This life I'm living, it's gonna be my testimony. Everything I'm doing, this life that I'm living, it's gonna be my testimony. Everything I'm doing, my God is behind it all. Oh, this life that I'm living, it's gonna be my testimony. Everything I'm doing, God is behind it all. Oh, I need you to declare you're not defined by what people say about you. God designed you with features of greatness. They say you ain't gonna be something in life, but I'm here to tell you that God already had an opinion about you before people had it. The Bible says He prepares a table for me in the presence of my enemies. So I'm the head, not the tail. I'm above, not beneath. Yeah. You called me by my name, full of thistles and thorns. When nobody could see me, when nobody could hear me. Oh, Jesus, from grace to grace, you've taken me from the